Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so let's continue where we left off on the questions. So number 5, does it require a shared write access, right? So yes, at each step. Now, I just want to summarize the concept here again. So the concept here applies where they're going to be applying a blockchain transaction at each step of the manufacturing process for LVMH. So for example, LVMH, as the brand owner of the brand LV, they want to ensure that they don't know, or they want to avoid getting counterfeit goods being distributed. So the concept is, if we are able to ensure that when the customer is buying an item is actually authentic and original and issued by the specific brand, that's one. And to maintain a permanent record on that item to always be able to find out that it's actually been issued and manufactured by their right designer label, which is LVMH. So these are the two concepts that we came up with to be able to address the problem of counterfeit goods. So now when we start answering the questions, does the solution require shared write access? Yes, at each of the supply chain, the participants should record the main steps and quality control steps completed to ensure the supply chain cycle is followed. Are any of the parties under untrusted? It is in the best interest of the provenance solution to assume the participants are not able to trust each other's records, therefore to create an immutable provenance record of the supply chain of the item. Now this is a very important point here, because when it comes to counterfeit goods, there's a lot of regulation involved. Right, so the regulation states that you cannot, for example, in most of Europe, you cannot sell counterfeit goods of these, expensive designer label brands, and they have a list of all the brands. And if you do, it's punishable by law, by going to jail, by having a huge fine. Right, it's considered legal. So in this case, what are we trying to do is, how can we avoid or limit the people who actually go into these countries and buy counterfeit goods as if they're original, and that's what we're trying to do here. And to protect those people who actually who think they're buying an original item from an authorized store, when in reality they go and actually buy something fake because the store owner or the distributor of that specific store was selling fake items and marketing them as actual originals. How will blockchain be applied and which component will be utilized? Arianee will create a tamper-proof item tracking system built on the Ethereum blockchain. The Arianee analyst will be able to model the steps of the process. Okay, I'm just going to explain on a high level how this works. They said that they're going to be doing blockchain transactions at each level of the step. So imagine this. Imagine the assembly line or the manufacturing line of LV, and every single station there's a person doing X amount of work or a specific amount of work to produce the bag, the LV bag. So from the moment the LV is being the raw material is being sourced, that department will be issuing a transaction stamp on the application to ensure that they have received the right materials and they have received the quality information and they have received all the ingredients for them to be able to proceed to the next step, right? So, and then the next step is going to the next station. The person will be laying out all the raw material, the leather, the straps, the metal required, and everything else. And you're going to start designing a way to be able to fix the entire thing together. So, at this point, what we're saying is to be able to ensure the quality of the process, we have to create a blockchain transaction at every single step of the stations, manufacturing stations, up to the point where the product is now being distributed and sold off to the actual retail stores, right? So we want to be able to ensure that. The second thing is they're going to be doing a QR code stamped inside the handbag. A QR code, quick response code, stamped inside the handbag. And we're going to talk about why in a second, right? Will the blockchain be used public or private? Arianee will be using a combination of consortium and a public blockchain. Now here the answer is very subjective. They could have started off with a private and then into a public and so on. But in this case, they want to use a combination of consortium and a public blockchain solution for their specific purposes. And they want to be able to actually register the provenance record of the supply chain while maintaining the trade secrets of each luxury brand label. Okay, so in this case, LVMH said, okay, I'm going to use the solution for my brands. LV, for example, Gucci, or maybe Givenchy, 3 brands. But they want to ensure that each brand does not share private trade secret information when sending it onto the blockchain network. They only want to be able to transact this problem which they've been facing in the past years about the counterfeit goods. Okay, I'll skip this part, not that important. Is a token going to be used to digitize an asset or store value? In this case, no. A token is not required since there will not be a value associated with the items or the assets being tracked in the supply chain. This means that what they're doing is they're using the blockchain to be able to register transactions at each step of the actual manufacturing line. So there's no transaction of money. There's no cryptocurrency transactions, right? There's no buying and selling transactions. So there's no need to have a token of exchange in this case, right? A blockchain can exist without the token, without a cryptocurrency token, but a cryptocurrency token or application cannot exist without a blockchain, right? Blockchain is the underlying infrastructure that supports these capabilities and features of these apps, right? Use case workflow basically talks about the end result, right? So when you're doing a use case workflow, just imagine what's going to happen at the end of the project. A customer is going to go to Hermes store to purchase a woman's handbag for $5,000. The shop shows the item to the customer. Inside the handbag, there's a unique QR code printed. The customer opens the Hermes app on his mobile phone, and he scans the Hermes icon QR code inside the bag into the mobile phone. And then from the app, the mobile app, LV or whichever the brand is, it's going to give you confirmation, tell you this bag with the following color and specifications and size and weight and straps. It's actually an original and authentic and issued by LVMH in Paris. And here's the quality control process that happened and took place. This means that you as a consumer will be able to rest assured and feel safe when you're making a purchase of an expensive brand name item from any of these stores, and be able to ensure that what you're buying is actually original. Especially if you're buying it as a gift for someone, you want to ensure that you're buying something as an original and not as a knockoff or a counterfeit product, right? So again, the concept is simple. Any person who looks at the specific handbag, every single handbag issued by LVMH or Givenchy will have a QR code issued inside the bag, and this gives the customer to be able to open the app of that specific brand and be able to scan the QR code on that specific item, and it will confirm to you that this bag is actually original and authentic. It's going to have a little picture of the bag and the specifications. And if it's a counterfeit, it will tell you this bag is not recognized in the database of Givenchy or of the brand, right? So this is why it provides to be a very powerful use case to address the problem of trust and to ensure that customers are actually getting the original products and not knockoffs when they're making a purchase in these different stores. And this will give you the idea about the Arianee protocol and how it functions. Alright, I'm going to stop right here, guys, and feel free to go through this in detail just to have to grasp a deeper understanding of it. And then we're going to continue on in the next lesson with the next remaining use case. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I appreciate your time. And I do believe that you've been learning something new in this technology to see how it can be applied to your specific industries and your companies to help improve your bottom line. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next.